Most traders think entries are really complicated. They're not. They're looking at indicators, signals, 10 different confirmations. Honestly, that's not me. I use simple math to figure out if I want to trade the stock. Entries entries come down to really simple math. And if the numbers don't make sense, I don't take the trade. If they make sense, I take the trade. And that thing alone has changed the way that my trading results are. It has given me consistency and something that I can build an account on. I don't try to predict what these stocks are going to do every day like most people. And most people, when they predict what they're going to do, they've got really, really unrealistic targets. They're looking for 100, 200, 300%. And yes, we do get those sometimes daily, but what's more realistic? 20, 30%? What do you need to build your account? 10, 15, 20, 30%? Be realistic. Be realistic on your risk levels too. You have to have a risk level. You've got to have a plan, period. A lot of traders, they buy and then they try to come up with a plan in the middle of the trade. That's completely backwards. You need the plan before you get into the trade. And the first thing you need to figure out is what is your risk? You know, if you're going to risk 10 cents and you believe the a reasonable upside is 40 cents, you have 4 to 1 risk reward. How many shares do you take? It depends. How much are you going to lose if it goes down 10 cents and you've got to cut it? So again, use simple math to figure out what you're comfortable with losing. So right now I'm looking at LIMN, and I'll give you a couple of examples. I did not trade this today. I marked this level right here where the blue line is, right after the open, right after this right here. I mark this level. Okay. I've got some things that I look at, some simple math that I do. It depends on what the stock has done recently, but it's a way that I have came up with over time and experience to find entry levels. And it's not complicated, and every trader can find their own way to find good entries. I think the way that I do it matches with the way the market generally moves with these type of tickers. But if you look at this level, it's right at 118. Okay. So literally after this first opening minutes of the day, about the time it was in this area. So 20 minutes in, I had this level marked. So I knew where my entry would be if I took the trade. And look at the upside. Now, you could buy slightly above that area, slightly below that area. Any of this in here could have given you really good profit. We made it up to 210. So if you scale out, you may sell some up here. You may sell some here. You may not sell and sell some in this area. Personally, I like to scale out. That way, maybe you can take some shares to the top, wherever that is, or close to it. Another one that I was looking at, BOXL. Same difference here. If when I look at this chart, um, it's today's start right here. I look at this chart, we're up, down, it's making higher lows. When I see that clearly defined on a chart, typically my experience of the ones that I've watched do this, they continue to go up all day long towards the close, and more times than not, even go a little higher after hours. Unfortunately, I don't trade these that much because it's kind of like it's so clear. The levels are so clear that I'm almost afraid of it. And that's just something personally with me as a trader. However, this area right here that I marked at 181, when this traded up here about 9:30 this morning and came back down to this level, it was right about in here when I marked this level. Okay. And that's based on my experience. It's based on some really simple math and a certain way that I have of figuring out what numbers to use, in that equation. And that's where I put my level in. Look where it goes. Literally smack dab in the middle of it. From there, you know, call it 185 to, 210. That's a really good percentage um, of a ticker that's basically just went up all day. Some consolidation there. I got really busy earlier. I wanted to mark these levels live so that you would see that I'm not full of crap. That the way that I figure these levels out works with all of them. Not saying that I can pick a level on every ticker and it's never going to go below that, that it's always going to hold that level. That's not what I'm saying. You have to have your risk within your plan so that if that level doesn't hold, you cut it before you lose too much money. Period. I'm going to look and see real quick if I can find something else that is setting up. Well, this would be another one. Definitely. Low price, so I usually have to dig a little bit deeper to find an entry. The way that I like to find that spot with stuff that's under 25 cents, 35 cents, because they tend to dip a little bit further than they should, even, before a good bounce, in my opinion. So I always add a little bit of extra to that. So that's not a good example. It's pretty late in the day, so I'm probably not going to find something because pretty much by this time of the day, it's 2:20 Texas time. All the levels have kind of presented themselves by this time. So I'll keep that for another video for you guys and show you live how I pick or I'll show you live me picking the levels and then let it play out. And you can see that generally I pick really, really good areas. And that's something that I've just learned over time. You know, if I've got excuse me, a checklist that I go by that my checklist is in my head. I don't mean I actually have a paper checklist, guys. Uh, I've been doing this long enough that I know exactly what I'm looking for. So that math that I'm talking about, and it is so simple, I do it in my head. I might have to use a couple of fingers, okay? But I figure it out. I do the math. I mark my area, and I wait for it to come down to it. You get a process like this to find your entries, aside from your risk level, you choosing that and you coming up with a plan. It is the most important thing that you get a good entry, period. That's all there is to it. You can have a bad trade, but if you have a good entry, you respect your risk, you're not going to lose much. You know, if the cool thing is, if you come up with that process and you follow it daily on every trade, you don't have to win all the time. You can have a lot of losses, but they'll be small and your winners will be good or great. And they should be bigger if you're picking the right trades. They should be bigger than your losses. You know, if you're trading 1-to-1 risk reward, that's not great. 2-to-1, not great. 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1, yes, that's what you want if you can get it. But to get that, you got to have good entries. That's it. Anyway, that's basically it, guys. I appreciate you watching. If you want to learn and see, I'll do another video soon and show you, you know, in real time of me picking levels, and then we'll watch them play out, and you can see that I'm not full of crap. It works. It's worth learning. Y'all have a good day.